Y'all just gonna have to take me as I am today. Alright, so here goes. It's been a minute since I did a video, but I absolutely had to share my experience today with you all. So today I am at Goodwill. I love to go to Goodwill from time to time because you can find some pretty good treasures there. And today I go, and lo and behold, I find 4 pieces at Goodwill that I really wanted. When I get there, it's packed. And there is no buggies left. So when I go back to the back, I see 4 pieces that I want to buy. I can only carry 2 of them. So I go to the front of the store and I ask the cashier, I said, can I leave these 2 here while I go back and get the other stuff? And she tells me no. She said, because the rule is if you leave it here on the counter and someone else comes up and say that they want to purchase it, that they have to sell it to that person. What I finally had to do was get in line, check out, buy those 2 pieces, go put that in my car, come back in the store, and get the other 2 pieces. So I go and get the 2 pieces. It's heavy, by the way. I'm having to hold it on my arm. And the thing is cutting in my arm because it's so heavy. And then the other one I'm having to hold like this. So while I'm in line, I run into someone who I haven't seen in quite some while. She and I are talking and waiting while they're checking people out. And while she's talking, I happen to look over the side and I see this black guy coming in from the side. Now I'm in line right here. He's creating an intersection. So I'm looking and she's talking and everything. I'm looking out like, I know that joker ain't finna try to skip me. I know he ain't finna try to skip me. He got a buggy. I don't. This is heavy. When my friend sees that he's trying to skip, she was like, Bridget, maybe girl. She was like, I said, no, that's fine. So, because I had already said that for every time he moved an inch, I'll move a mile. We just moving back and forth. And he's trying to pretend like he don't see me, but I see you. I see you trying to etch your way up. I mean, you a big old black dude with a buggy. All your stuff is in there. I got these 2 heavy things in my hand. And you trying to skip. So, lo and behold, it's my turn. He go ahead and cut up on in there and skip. And so my friend was like, Bridget, girl, let me go ahead and let you go so that you can get in line. He hears it and turned around and said, oh, you gonna let me skip you? Like, stone face. I was like, sir, you can go ahead. And he was like, are you sure? You unloading your buggy. Now, mind you, behind him, as he was creating his own line from the side, because the line's supposed to be, like this. He coming from the side. There's a white guy behind him, and then there's a white lady behind the white guy. The white guy hears all of this, and you know what he does? He just bogarts himself right behind the dude. And I'm sitting up here and I'm like, I guess I'm just not standing here with this stuff in my hand. Lord, now despite what Kirk Franklin is saying, I am not trying to lose my religion today. I am not. The black dude had the buggy with his stuff in it. The white dude had one toy gun. One toy gun. And then when he skips in front of me, he turns to the white lady that's behind him and says, come on. I guess I'm just not standing here with this stuff in my hand. So the white lady, she says, no. She says, she's got heavy stuff. He was like, oh, come on. I guess I'm just not standing here with this stuff in my hand. So the black lady behind the white lady, because it's 4 people. It's the black guy, the white lady, and the black woman. I guess she was trying to have my back. She was like, no, I'm going to go ahead and go behind her because the line is actually over there. And that's when the white lady said, no. She said, you know what? You go ahead because she said, your stuff is heavy. And so the white guy tells her again, go ahead and come on. She said, no, her stuff is heavy. She said, I'm not going to do that. So you know what he does? He yells to his wife, who is in the next line, over on the side of us, who is actually next in line, getting ready to put her stuff on the counter and say, hey, honey, come over here. I guess I'm just not standing here with this stuff in my hand. They trying me today. They are trying me today. So his wife come on over with all her stuff. I guess I'm just not standing here with this stuff in my hand. So the white lady behind me, she said, I'm not gonna do that. And so the black guy, he checks out. And the thing about this, he was in such a hurry to check out. He checked out and then came back in the store. So he checks out. Then the white guy and his wife checks out, and I put my stuff up there, arms and everything. I mean, by this time they were hurting. They were. I looked at the white lady because she looked at that guy and she said, I'm not gonna do that. God told me, he said, bless her. And I looked in her arms and she had some clothes. And I said, ma'am, I may not look like it. I said, but I am a pastor's wife. And I said, and God has just told me to bless you. And she was like, oh, really? I said, yes, ma'am. I said, lay your clothes up here. and she laid them up here. And the cashier, I said, all of this is going to be together. And she was like, oh, no. I said, no, ma'am. I said, don't cheat me out of my blessing. Don't cheat me. I said, let me do this for you. I said, because when everybody else was doing that, you chose to do what's right. And the lady, by this time, we had a real line, the line that was supposed to be this way. They was like, oh, wow. And tears filled their eyes, and she was like, oh, my goodness. She said, thank you, and she hugged me. So we began to talk, and we introduced ourselves to each other. Comes to find out that the clothes that she was buying, she's getting ready to take with her to Kenya on a mission trip. And not only is she going to Kenya, she's going to one of the most dangerous parts of Kenya. She's going to be needing some prayer, okay? Don't worry about her name, but she's going to be needing some prayer. And she was telling me that this is the 7th time that she's going. Her son, who is actually in school to become a doctor, that's something that she and her son do. And so we were both talking about ministry. And not only did she and I get a chance to talk and witness to each other, but the 2 black ladies behind them, they came in, we all introduced ourselves, and it was a wonderful time for us to come together as women of God and fellowship. You see, it's never really been about color. It's always been about character. Because see, in line today, it was a black guy that was being rude and abrasive. In line today, it was a white guy that was being rude and abrasive. But in line today, it was a white woman that showed me compassion. And behind her, it was another black lady that was showing me compassion. See, in this time with a country, I know that racism is an issue. I'm not saying that it does not exist. We need to learn to start looking at the spirit of a man, not the skin of a man. And that's what I am determined to do. But I'm like this, if it's all about color, how come all black people don't get along? If it's all about color, how come all white people don't get along? How come all Hispanics don't get along? And how all Asian people don't get along? It's about your character and how you perceive life. It's about your walk in life and how you look at your fellow man. Today, God once again reminded me, it's all about your character, but it's never about your color. Just because there are some bad apples in the bunch don't mean the whole bunch is gone bad. This has been First Lady B, aka B Mac Wrights. I hope you all have a blessed day. Bye-bye.